Para todos los que no saben exactamente lo que hago, yo hago fotos divertidos con un photo booth. Prácticamente sus invitados es otra diversión que hay ahí en la fiesta para ellos poder llevarse un recuerdo de la fiesta. Ofrecemos fotos que se imprimen allí mismo al instante y tenemos un montón de diferentes fondos y personalizamos todo para su evento para que lo disfruten y es como otra manera de diversión. Llevamos los accesorios también en español para que usted se pueda tomar fotos divertidos y todo es una manera de para que usted tenga de recuerdo y hacer memorias con sus seres queridos.
We got a special treat on this episode. We have Kelvin Diaz with KD Photo Booth Services LLC. Did I get that right?
Yes,
all right.
Yes, sir.
We're very excited to have him with us. He's going to tell us a little bit about his background and how he got into doing what he's doing and what his plans are for the upcoming future.
For 2024.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. So really honored to be here.
Yeah, good to have you on board.
Tell us a little bit about your background, like your nationality. I like to know people's roots and their Latino roots. So tell us about your roots or your parents' roots and what you want to share with us.
Okay, yeah. So I was actually born in Washington, D.C. Both of my parents are from El Salvador.
Nice.
So I didn't grow up in D.C. I grew up here in Richmond, Virginia, most of my life. So it's always been here in Virginia. And I've gone back to El Salvador a few times.
Awesome.
Got to see, where my parents come from and meet family members that we have over there. So
that's important.
That's like fun because it's a lot of family.
Yes. I'm sure you heard a lot of family stories, so it's nice to put a place to the stories, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
¿Qué departamento?
De San Miguel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where my family and I are
Yeah,
from.
Departamento de San Miguel. My mom, I know they grew up like in Municipal de Chirilagua.
Yeah.
And there's this canton called La Estrechura. That's where like they kind of grew up. I don't think that they were born there, but
yeah. So that sounds very vaguely familiar. In fact, Chirilagua, we hung out at Chirilagua and got some ice cream from La Neveria there. But we're from between El Delirio and Chirilagua, so we're somewhere in the same vicinity. That's crazy.
Small world.
It's very hot.
And so Cuco is your beach.
Yes, I've actually been to Cuco,
Yeah.
And it's very hot, like just in San Miguel, like in general.
I guess we can jump into it. So you had told us that you started your photo booth business, but you also had some part-time gigs. So when you first went into the photo booth business, did you leave a job and transition into that? How is it? Tell us the story behind that.
So before I started my photo booth business, I was working at a bank, typical 9 to 5. I was actually a lead associate for operations.
Okay.
Not really an assistant manager. You're just kind of like a glorified teller. And I really hated it.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't like 9 to 5s. And so I actually went to one of my cousin's daughter's Sweet 16. And this was actually like the year after COVID, so 2021, because 2020, that's when the pandemic happened. And her quinceañera got postponed to a Sweet 16.
Okay.
And the DJ there actually had a photo booth, and I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I had never actually like seen it in Richmond. I hadn't been to a quinceañera where they had that or a Sweet 16, so I was just like, this is cool, and you got the prints right then and there. So I started researching that. That was like in May of 2021.
Okay.
And by November, I decided that I was just gonna leave my 9 to 5 and go ahead and start my photo booth rental business. And that's what I did. But most of my experience was in banking. I did have like management positions. I worked at McDonald's. That was like my very first job. And I moved into management there. And during college as well, I worked at like a restaurant.
Okay.
So that's most of like my experience.
Awesome. But that's nice. You took the leap of faith and
were
inspired.
It was like a challenge because I knew I didn't want to like I wanted to do something else. Like I've always known that I didn't like a 9 to 5, but during my time there, I was kind of settling, trying to move up into becoming into management. But I realized that a lot of times in corporations and places like that, it's all about who you know
Yes.
and not really what you bring to the table and your knowledge. And I didn't really like that. That didn't sit well with me because, I've had a few interviews where I knew I was more than capable for the job, but I didn't get picked because, again, it's all about who you know. And that just kind of like also was another thing. Like, I want to do something for myself where I can make the decisions.
Yes, yeah.
And like, just kind of like, I don't know, still be happy and love what you're doing.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
I definitely did not love working at a bank.
Yeah, no, I have some experience as well, so I can relate with you in that aspect.
Yeah.
But it's nice that you took the reins of your own life and decided you're going to put matters in your own hands and move forward with that in your dreams. So that's,
Yeah, and it's a constant process, just working towards your goals. Obviously, success is not gonna come easy. You actually have to put the work in for it.
absolutely.
And I mean, there are challenges. I mean, being a business owner, you guys are business owners. It's a challenge. Like, you wear many hats, but as well, you enjoy the process.
Yeah, because all your blood, sweat, and tears are for yourself.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So you definitely take I don't know, some kind of pride
exactly. Yeah.
with like what you do, and if something goes wrong, it's kind of on you.
It's a
You
learning
can't,
experience
yeah,
too.
you can't really blame nobody else. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're the one responsible, so it's
Yeah.
definitely a fun process.
So we've seen Kelvin and KD photo booth in action at a quinceañera and then at a gala. And I'll tell you, the guy's setup is professional. He takes his job very seriously, and he's done his research. He knows what he's doing out there, and the outcome, the guests love what they see. So we're definitely advocating for his services.
Thank you for sure. I'm glad that you guys have loved it, and more so for me as well. When I first got into this, I'm the kind of person that I hate pictures, so it's kind of funny to me
It's ironic.
that I'm doing this, and a lot of times people think that it's like professional photographer, and I'm like, no, photo booth is more to be fun and create memories, but also the kind of person I am. Like, it's kind of nice to see people create memories with their loved ones because, I don't know, if you think about it, life is short, and sometimes at family gatherings, that's the only time where you're there with a lot of your family members. You might not live in the same city or state, and for you to be able to take a picture and take a memory with you, kind of have that instant gratification.
Yes.
It's kind of like a neat way to,
Yes.
have a memory.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one thing that really took me back with your business, is that I hadn't really seen that in a party scene. I guess I don't go to a lot of parties, but it was so neat to see that, because I know me personally, when I go to an event, I always forget to take pictures. I was like, oh, I should have taken a picture with so-and-so. I hadn't seen them. And I always think of it after the fact. And the fact that you have it there ready to go at the party, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, and people get all dressed up, and then
Yeah.
you didn't get a picture, so
Right.
you get to have that memory. And a lot of the different events that we do. I mean, I do birthdays, quinceañeras, weddings, so it's kind of nice to see like people get those memories, and not even just that, but like at the gala, a lot of people, other business owners, so
Yes.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Walk us through, what can we expect when we go to get a picture taken at your booth?
Well, you can definitely expect a lot of fun, because normally what I'll do is I'll take props, different kind of props, English and Spanish. That's one of the things that I definitely wanted to bring to the table, was like Spanish props, because everybody can relate, not just if you speak like English. I wanted to have something for, my Latinos that speak Spanish, and they're like, have, signs that say, yo vine por la comida. So who doesn't want to
Yeah.
take a picture with that? Because like, I mean, when I go to parties, yo solo voy por la comida. That's just me.
I can
So you definitely, you get an option of like, depending on what the occasion is, what the props will be, and there's fun props in there. And you typically, the template, which is what we'll print out, is usually 3 pictures. It can be 1 picture, 4, and you basically go in there, pose, put your celebrity moment on, and do whatever pose you want to do and it takes the pictures. You have the option to get it texted to you in a text message, as well as it'll print right then and there for you.
That's fantastic. So,
Yeah,
so the
that's nice.
text, by the way, if you have a Droid or an iPhone, it doesn't matter because if I remember correctly, you get a link where you can go and download a full quality version of that photo.
Yep, you'll have
Impressive.
an online copy, and not just the strip, because normally we do 2x6 photo strips, but sometimes we've done 4x6. But also, like, if you didn't like the 3 pictures, you can just download. Like, if you only liked one of the pictures from this photo strip, you can download that individually as well.
Wow.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
what if we didn't like our pictures? Could I just download another family's photos?
You could do that too. You could do that too, or you can always retake it. Once I'm there, you can take as many pictures as you would like. So
That's great.
There's
yeah.
no limitation.
There's
Great.
it's like unlimited pictures and prints for you and your guests to have.
So I love the setup, and it had like a little timer, and it told you when it was
Yeah,
gonna.
it gives you a countdown. Normally I put it to 5 seconds, and those 5 seconds go pretty quick.
Yeah, it's like, oh no.
Yeah. So it's always fun to see, like, when at parties groups come and they do whatever they want and take pictures, because that's the purpose of it. It's like a form of entertainment for your guests.
Yes.
Because if you think about it, sometimes people don't always like to dance at parties.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe you like to take pictures.
Experience.
And for me, I know I hate to take pictures, but for the photo booth, it's different
Exactly,
because
yeah.
you can pick a prop and
Something
just kind of
silly,
like
yeah.
pose, and it doesn't have to be like
Serious.
serious.
Put your arm up
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
kind of
So
picture.
you're able to kind of just be you and just do whatever you want and let loose. So
That's
Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Give people options. It's like,
Yeah,
that's nice 'cause
yeah.
sometimes you kind of have that gap in between two things, like between maybe the cake and something else going to the party. So people have time to do something while they're waiting. So it's great.
yeah, another form of entertainment. So
So, do you feel like the station gets more exciting as the night transpires, as the night progresses?
most definitely it does. Because obviously, a lot of the times whenever the bar is kind of, starts to be open, that's when more people start getting comfortable after a couple of drinks. So you definitely start seeing more people come and take pictures. Because in the beginning, depending on what time the photo booth opens, more people are like shy. They don't really want to go up. But as the night progresses, they definitely get more comfortable.
Liquid courage.
Yeah.
What's the scariest thing you've seen
Oh, scariest thing I've seen.
besides damaging your equipment? Or funniest, or just the wildest?
Well, sometimes when they come into groups, they'll want to like pick somebody up.
Oh no.
And if you're in a group and you gotta hold them for those 5 seconds, like I just be like, I hope this person does not fall.
On yourself, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want nobody to get hurt. But
Yes.
I mean, it's definitely there to have fun. But yeah, some people have tried to like kind of.
First thing I would do in
Jump.
your shoes would be delete the photos. Get rid of that evidence.
Yeah.
Pack up my bag and just be gone.
Yeah. That wasn't me.
That was
I don't
somebody
know.
else's photo booth.
Yeah.
That was that DJ.
Yeah.
Exactly. Put his name out there.
This is the song he was playing.
Yeah.
Tell us an exciting adventure of growing up with folks who you relied on you to do all the interpretation for them.
It was definitely a challenge, especially also like learning 2 languages. You, like as a kid, I don't know, my dad was really big on, he didn't want me to speak English in the house. Like he was like, no, aquí voy a hablar español, like, cause I don't speak English. And I kind of am grateful for that because it does pay off in jobs. Like, when I worked in banking jobs, you do get paid more if you're bilingual because you can speak 2 languages. But I mean, growing up, there's definitely, it was funny. For example, I can think of one time that I told my parents for Halloween that we had to dress up to go to school in our costume. And the paper actually said that
The opposite?
that after school you can go trick-or-treating and go in your costume. But I was telling them, no, this is what it says, like I have to wear a costume to school. And so we actually went to pick out a costume, and I got like a Dracula costume with this cape and like these
Fangs.
fake
Oh, yeah, the
fangs.
little-
Yeah, the fangs.
School ordered.
And it had like for you to color your face to make you look a little pale.
Okay, like the white makeup.
Yeah, yeah. So my aunt, she was the lucky one that day. She actually did that for me because my parents had to go to work, and she would actually walk me to school because at that time we lived really close to the school. And I got all dressed up in my costume. We walked to school, and
It's Halloween, Doug Nabbit. I will be dressed up today.
and nobody else was dressed
Oh,
up in school,
no.
and they told my aunt, they were like, no, he can't stay like this.
Oh, no.
And my aunt was like so mad because it took her time.
Yeah, she was excited.
Yeah, and she was just like mad, and I was like, well, the paper said so. Me like not really knowing how to interpret that well.
Yes.
And because this was actually like kindergarten.
So this wasn't
Oh,
intentional.
yeah.
This is you translating
This
the
is
best
me
you could.
translating the best that I could, and that's what I
And
thought
yeah,
it said.
in
at
kindergarten, you're learning
that.
how to read. So yeah.
So it was definitely a funny experience that we like laugh about, but
That's funny. Yeah.
that's like one of the things that growing up.
So what was their fear? That you were too scary for the other kids, or what was their
I
reason?
think it was because I had the blood coming out.
It's too graphic.
Yeah, and so it was just like a big no.
Oh, man. It's like showing up to school on pajama day, but it's not pajama day, and you're the only one.
Yeah,
Dressed up in
it was
pajamas.
definitely embarrassing, but funny at the same time.
Yeah, I
like
know.
when you're a kid, you don't really like think about it. Like I think I was kind of like sad because I was like, dang, I look like a fool. Like these kids are gonna laugh at me. But at the same time, like looking at it now as I'm older, it's funny.
It's funny now, yeah.
Because I don't know how old you are when you're in kindergarten.
5, 6
Like
years
5
old.
or 6-year-old interpret from a
You should have known
paper.
better.
Like it just that's what I thought we could do. We could wear
Yeah.
costumes to school.
I know. It's that pressure we have from our parents. They're like, you get this card or letter in the mail, and
Yeah,
they're like,
you
what
have
does
to
it say?
what does it say?
Yeah,
And then
it's
like there's words that I don't know how you say this.
Yeah.
I don't even understand what it means in English.
Yes, exactly. Yes, we probably all went through that.
Did you get punished when the parents got home finally, or
I don't
how did they
think
react?
so. I honestly think that they kind of laughed too. I know my aunt was really mad, but they just kind of like laughed and they were just like, "That's what you said." So
We were just going by what you said.
what you said. So you're the one that looked goofy.
Do you have a photo that we can put up on the screen showing?
I actually don't. I don't think that
They never took a picture of
They never
you?
took a picture.
Photoshop. We'll Photoshop it.
Yeah, we'll find one on there. It's just like a white shirt, fangs, and then like I said, my face was pale and it looked like blood.
Okay, we got you. We're
Yeah.
gonna Photoshop you. What is a misconception that people have about photo booths? Is there something that you can share that people maybe get confused sometimes about?
Yeah, I will say like mostly in the Latino market because it's kind of like a newer thing. People don't really understand the idea, like what exactly a photo booth is. A lot of times people will reach out to me and they're like, "Oh, you take pictures," and I'm like, "No, I don't really do the professional pictures. This is more fun, divertido." Like,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, okay," because when I start explaining to them, like, I actually take a backdrop, I take a table full of props. So sometimes I do get like that misconception if it's just like photography, and it's completely not because I don't actually do no editing in the pictures.
Gotcha.
However you look there, I can't make you look skinny.
No glamour
Sorry.
shots.
Yeah,
That was going to be my first question.
you can add a couple of effects here and there,
Okay.
but I don't actually go into Photoshop and edit anything. So
What you see is what you get.
what
Yeah.
you see is what you get. So
No
that
filters.
is one. Yeah, that is one misconception that sometimes
Yeah.
I get confused as a photographer. I would say that's like probably like the only thing that comes to mind that I can think of.
No, it makes sense. If some like you're explaining, our community might have not experienced what a photo booth was. Like I probably didn't really know what a photo booth was until I went to the mall and you saw it at the mall
Yeah.
like that. So,
Yeah, and so see, and that's what like when like I went to that my cousin's daughter's Sweet 16, that's like the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, I haven't done one of this since like the mall, because you
The
would
curtain.
see,
You can go
yeah,
with the
you would see the photo booths in the malls, and I mean, you can get kind of like a similar picture, I think, like at Chuck E. Cheese,
Yeah.
where you sit there. But I mean, I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's a nice
Yeah,
novelty.
So that's like one misconception because the photo booths are really like popular. You know, Americans usually have it like a lot in their weddings, birthdays. At least here in Richmond, the Latino community, it's a little more behind because it's not as popular. If you go to Texas,
It's picking up.
yeah, if you go to Texas though, like every quinceañera, you're gonna have a photo booth. It's very saturated in the Latino communities there because there's a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, quinceañeras are big there.
Yeah. So I've seen some videos where they just do like all sorts of kind of things like for quinceañeras there. So it's pretty neat.
Nice.
Well, if you're planning a quinceañera, a wedding, a special event,
Call me.
yeah. The photo booth is a must-have.
Yeah.
Your guests will be pleased.
Baby showers, I'm sure. are
Yeah, baby
popular.
showers, weddings,
reveals,
birthdays.
yeah.
Gender reveals. I've also done just like strange like parties. Not like strange, but like something you wouldn't really like think about.
The kind you can't talk about on our YouTube channel.
Family friendly.
More like adult parties.
Okay, like bachelorette parties.
Yeah,
and stuff,
something like along those lines.
Yeah.
we'll just
And that
go with
wavelength.
those.
Yeah. I'm trying to bring innocence back. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because like some like house parties.
I gotcha.
But the neat thing about it is doesn't matter.
He'll provide slides so we can put on.
Of all those parties.
Yeah, the neat thing about it is everything can be tailored and customized to your event. So whatever colors you want to use on the photo strip, whatever you want it to say, like we really take like that effort to customize it and make sure that you like it. So
Exactly,
because your guests, it's your big day. Like for a wedding, you want to have the couple pick and what they want their guests to have. Their memories, so
to memorialize that day.
Exactly.
It was the name of the quinceañera on the bottom and their date. So that's really nice, a memory, because people won't remember the day. Like
or like if you want just the names, whatever, but it's tailored to
exactly
what the customer wants.
And that includes the backdrop as well, because I've noticed you've got different backdrops for different events.
Yeah, we have like a lot of different backdrops. I'm always adding more backdrop options, different colors, as well as props, because props, I have a lot of props. A lot of props. So
it's good to have variety.
Yeah, a variety, because I do all kinds of events, not just like tailored to one specific kind of event. So it's cool.
It's good.
Walk us through the process. So if I were to reach out to you, how do I contact you? Would it be through social media? Is it a page that I fill out on your website? Is it a consultation? Can you walk us through?
Yeah, walk you through the process. So normally, like I do have a website, and I do have a form that people fill out, asking some questions like date, how many guests are you having, location, because I do travel outside of a 30-mile radius, not just like Richmond. So for example, like at the end of this month, I have an event in Maryland. So I do travel. So just basic questions that I kind of like need to know. And I do have 2 photo booths. So I do have different examples on my website of which photo booth might you be interested in. And then basically once you submit that, I have an option on there for you to let me know what's your preference to get reached at. So, a lot of people don't like to call no one, or they just prefer text. So I'll text you, time of day kind of thing. So, and then I'll kind of give you my different package offers that I have. And then, you look at that, answer any questions, kind of see your color scheme too, to make sure that I have a backdrop that will fall within like your color coordination. And if you look at a package that you like, we have a retainer fee to save the date, because obviously it's like a first come first serve, and sometimes you do get inquiries for the same day, and so you definitely want to save the date, and obviously have a contract that I send out with certain things on there. And then basically from there you pay you have an option to pay. Like if your event was like 6 months from now, you can pay up to 3 days before your event. Everything just has to be paid up front. And then we kind of coordinate when the setup will be, as far as if there's going to be like an idle fee as well to set up earlier. I usually like to set up in advance because for me personally, once your guest is there, if I'm setting up, like I want it to be just a few things. Like to me, it looks tacky, but that's just for me. But then, yeah, we work on the day of the event, the customization. You send me like your invite, what kind of colors you want, what you want the template to say, and get you to review it, and everything looks good. Send you like a test picture. I actually set up the backdrop. I'll actually take a picture to make sure that you like how the final product will look. I'll print it out and I send you a picture of that.
Nice.
Because I just like to make sure that
everyone's
you
on the
like,
same page.
everybody's on the same
That
page.
helps you too, because you know you've got the measurements just right.
Yeah,
so.
no surprises,
Yeah.
and nobody's like, oh no, I don't actually like, because there's been instances where they'll have picked one backdrop, and then once we do the test pictures, they're like,
change their mind.
yeah, I want to change the backdrop. So, and that's normally like the process. Most of my leads come from social media, Instagram. That's where I get most of my leads from. People see my reels.
Yeah, that's a great way to
Publish a
market.
link to your site.
Oh yeah. So you guys can, inquire. Well, not you guys, but.
No, we will.
Oh yeah.
We like to have events too, you know.
Oh, okay.
One day.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a quinceañera. That's a while down the road. But we like to throw parties.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the ideal setup time for you? How long does it take to set up? And then what's the minimum amount of hours someone can reserve you for?
So for me to set up, like on my own, it usually can take like an hour and 30 minutes.
That's quick.
An hour and 30 minutes at the most. I have to really like hustle. But now, as I'm more familiar with some of the venues, certain venues, I know that they'll open early in the morning, so I'll probably go and not leave everything out. Also, because sometimes children want to take my props, and like I'll leave everything like under the table.
Children are evil.
Yeah. I'll just have my backdrop set up for the most part. And usually, what was the other part of that?
The minimum amount of time someone
So the minimum amount of time, it typically depends. I can do 2 hours. 2 hours is the minimum. But depending for like larger events, I typically recommend 3. So usually
give
they start
everybody a
off with
chance to
3.
make it through the line.
Because every event is different. For example, like baby showers, you don't really need like 3 hours. 2 hours might be enough. It just kind of typically depends, but 2 hours at minimum at least.
That makes sense. Yeah, weddings and quinceañeras are longer.
Yeah,
events,
those
so.
I typically recommend 3 or 4 hours. So.
Makes sense. No.
Does it depend on the amount of guests or just the event?
There's a lot of different factors in it. I'm kind of at that point where I do have like standard pricing and packages, but I do custom packages as well.
Okay.
So give people an option.
Tell us about your success. Is there a secret sauce to your success that you've seen that you've been in this industry for a few years now?
So I wouldn't. Everybody has their own metrics of what they consider success and whatnot. I definitely am proud of my work so far. I wouldn't want to say like I'm successful because obviously I would want to be at a position where maybe I'm having events like every weekend. I'm still kind of fairly new. I've been doing this since basically 2022. I mean, I set up my LLC at the end of 2021. But 2022 is when I officially started. So
Awesome.
a couple years. But I'm just proud of like, where I'm at so far, the exposure I've been getting. I enjoy each event. Every event that I get, I take it as it's like my first event. I'm very dedicated. People like to say I'm a perfectionist, but it's not that. But I feel like if you're paying me for a service, I definitely want to deliver it. And especially like if you're booking me for your wedding or like a quinceañera, that's a big thing.
Yes.
So I just take pride in what I do and like my work. So I try to make sure I go over the top and make sure you get what you're paying me for.
That's a good trait to have.
Yeah. It's good at times, and also like it can hurt you because people think that they can walk over you sometimes.
You're too nice.
Yeah. And that's not the case at all. But
Right.
I like to give people like what they want and definitely have like the service be like, okay, like wow, like this was actually worth it, like
Yes.
because I don't if it wasn't worth it to you, then
Right.
what's the purpose of me even being there?
Yeah. Okay. So describe a challenging moment that you've had so far and how you've overcame it.
So I would definitely say, like, in the beginning, getting everything prepared. I didn't know what I was signing up for. As much research as I did, there's actually a lot of labor to it as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And, learning different things because of the software I use, camera settings. Like, I'm not a photographer, but I have invested time in learning, like, the right lighting, how certain backdrops will look with, like, certain camera settings. And I feel like that has in itself been like a challenge, but I have overcome it because I've learned, I've put time in to learn in the software, because you have to be able to know if it gives you an issue during an event. Like, you got to think on your feet. You're right there.
Yes.
You have no time to waste to, like, get that fixed. So that was definitely, I guess, like a challenge, because you have to plan for the unexpected.
Yes.
And not knowing what could go wrong, because there are a lot of factors that could go wrong, and just being ready for all that. Because, even with the cords that you use for your camera that's connected to the booth, making sure everything is charged. So, like, forgetting something.
Yeah.
Like, when you're
Like turning on a camera.
yeah, like turning on a camera. Or
That would never happen to me.
or not charging something, like, a battery. And definitely, you learn as you go.
Yes.
And you try to get better to minimize those.
Yes.
Did you do dress rehearsals before your first event?
I did a couple free events, like, for my
Oh,
family.
perfect. That's a good setup.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Great way to
definitely, like, the company where I actually purchased my first photo booth from, they kind of walk you through that process of, like, practicing,
Don't practice
Yes.
on
practice
your first
setting
account.
up. Yeah, practice
Yes.
setting up the booth, because you're
have
like
to
building
learn.
it.
Yeah.
To play with the settings and the different kind of backdrops that you have. Looking at the pictures. So yeah, I definitely did practice a couple free events. Those were my test pictures.
Nice,
And try to work on the quality that I was aiming for. So
Well, again, we're pleased with your quality. What we've seen looks professional to me.
thank you.
Yeah.
you.
Yes, I would recommend your services to anybody, because
Thank
you're
you.
very professional. The way that everything is set up, it's just a flawless system. And if you were stressing at all, I didn't see it
You
at
didn't-
all,
you didn't
because you were
notice.
so cool and calm and
Yeah,
having a
yeah.
good time with everybody. So
Yeah, no, there have been some events where, like, I'm like, because again, issues can come, and you have to just be ready for the unexpected. And there's been some where I just, like, or like in the beginning, a lot of the learning curve too was kind of like, sometimes my system would, like, freeze, and I would be like, what is going on? And then, like, when you have a line of people that are trying to take a picture and you're trying to figure out what's going on, it's not a good feeling.
yeah.
It's not a good feeling. And
Yeah.
most of the events I do by myself. Here and there, like, I'll take my cousin that I was telling you about. But when you're by yourself, it's pressure.
There's no one to turn to.
Yeah, no one to
No.
turn
You're
to.
not going
It's
to
all
call customer
you.
service at that moment.
Yeah, because I'm customer service.
You are.
Yeah. You can't call
So
anyone.
it definitely, but as you go on, that kind of goes away and it gets better.
What words of advice do you have for someone who's starting either a photo booth business or their own business in general? Because there's something that you can guide someone, some words of advice?
Yeah, definitely, like, go for it. I think that not having that, a lot of times as humans, we're always overthinking and scared of doing things. I think just going for it, giving it a try, you won't know if you're going to succeed unless you try.
True.
And definitely, like, taking it serious, like, what you're going to do, the level of professionalism that you're going to have. There's always going to be a lot of learning curves depending on, like, what industry you're doing. At least for the photo booth, if you're looking to start a photo booth, I think really knowing the different kind of photo booths that there are, the different kind of softwares that you can use. Again, it's more to it than just setting up something, the backdrops, definitely an investment. But definitely, I tell people all the time, like, go ahead and go for it, because if you never chase your dreams, you won't know what you'll get out of it. And for me specifically, I fell into this without really like I said, I don't like taking pictures. For me to actually be doing this and like helping people create memories is kind of like, wow, like I'm really doing something that I never thought of, but I enjoy being at the events. I enjoy seeing like the people having fun. So it doesn't feel like work to me because like, you know, at the end of the day, you are at a party, you're at a celebration. So it definitely doing something that you will enjoy, because the last thing you want to do is start a business and you're not going to enjoy it, and you're going to be like, why am I doing this? Like if it becomes a hassle at that point, you're not really, might not be the right fit for you. But I think that's my biggest thing is like actually taking that leap of faith, going for it, working towards your goals, and not giving up, because it's definitely not an easy process being a business owner. But as long as you have your goals set and clear, you should be pretty good.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I think you're on the way to even more success. I would say if you ever have a day when you're thinking, I don't know if this is the right thing for me, just brush it off and just keep driving forward. If your business evolves into something in addition to or instead of what you're doing, you're growing along the way. And I see a successful entrepreneur in the making. You're already there. You're just gonna continue to grow. One day when you're even more big time than you are already, I hope you come back and tell us about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you guys invite me, I'll be here. You know, thank you for that, because there are moments that, you know, it is challenging, especially in the industry that I'm in. It's not like I'm selling a product, you know, or a constant thing that people can just go and buy. This is like an actual service. And a lot of times, you know, different events have different budgets, so it might be like an extra, not necessarily a need. But I usually try to tell people, like, you know, it's a fun memory that you get out of it. And but there are moments where, especially more so in the beginning, I would be like, dang, nobody wants to book me. You know, I was just kind of like I don't know what I can do. Yeah, I was like, well, what can I be doing better, or like, is this the right thing to do? But I think really overcoming that and just keep pushing, you definitely start to see the results. And again, like I'm not like where I would like to be, but I'm working towards my goals, and I have a vision of where I see myself and where I want to go.
That's important.
And that's kind of what I'm working towards.
That's very important. You have the roadmap to get there.
Yeah. Now, are there going to be challenges that come in that roadmap? Absolutely. But it's just going to determine how I'm going to take those like learning lessons or, you know, apply it to just be better. Because I definitely do think that just self-growth and you growing a business, it's a lot of like learning, reassessing, like what do I need to change? What is working well? You're not always going to be doing the same thing. Change is good in a way. People are kind of scared of change. Once you get comfortable,
you got to change it up.
Yeah, you got to change it up, because then that's how you're going to overcome and get to that next level.
Yes. But put yourself back in that uncomfortable situation, but in a good way at least.
Yeah, in a good way.
We're very glad you accepted the invitation to interview with us. Thank you for coming by and sharing your thoughts with us and telling us about your business. Hopefully you can use this video as a business card and share it with your friends and tell them what you're about without having to sit there and do it every time. You've got it recorded now.
No, thank you absolutely for the opportunity, for you guys having me. So it's definitely nice to probably be able to share this video when people kind of ask, because like again, a lot of times people don't really understand the concept, or they don't know all like the logistics that go behind it. They just think, you know, it's an easy setup, it's a little backdrop.
No, there's a lot more to it.
There's a lot more to it, time, and you know, dedication and planning that goes involved.
So now when a potential customer calls you, you can say, look, just watch this 5-hour-long video. take the quiz at the end.
Right.
Call me
the survey.
Call me when you're ready to talk.
Right, absolutely. It'll save me time.
Right.
Exactly.
No, thank you for your time. Thanks for. Is there anything else that you wanted to say? A shout out to mom and pops, or anything that you wanted to say while you have the mic?
No, nothing at all. I think that you guys have done. You know, I like the questions you guys have asked me. So I just want to say thank you to you guys. And That's it.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you for being here.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we gave him the squeaky chair.
Oh, we did?
That's
No,
perfect.
No.
Oh yeah, I
Perfect.
think
We can take a quick break and swap them out.
Yeah.